You know what always surprises me? It's not how much people save, it's not how much they spend, it's not really even their investments. It's the fact that almost every pre-retiree I meet, smart people, hardworking people, people who've planned for decades, meet with me missing one number that quietly determines their entire retirement. And they don't even realize it's missing. People show up with everything they think I need, their Social Security estimates, 401k balances, their IRA statements, a list of monthly expenses from their credit cards, maybe a pension amount, sometimes even a color-coded spreadsheet. I've seen some good spreadsheets, but there's always a moment, I'd say about 5 minutes into a conversation, when I ask them a question that stops them right in their tracks. Do you know how much of your lifestyle depends directly on your savings every year? I could tell instantly whether someone has clarity or whether they've been planning retirement with a huge blind spot that they never even knew existed. Most people will look at me, pause for a second, and say something along the lines of, I've never thought of that one. Here's why that matters. This one benchmark, and I'm going to walk you through exactly what it is. It determines how much pressure that you put on your investments, how exposed you're going to be to taxes, how your withdrawal strategy should actually work, how vulnerable you are to those RMD surprises, how future market downturns are going to affect your lifestyle, and even how confident you feel day to day in retirement. And the crazy part, most retirees track everything except this one benchmark. But once you understand it, once you finally see it, it becomes the anchor that keeps your entire retirement plan stable. It really changes the conversation from, do I have enough? To, how much do I actually need from what I've already built? And that shift, that clarity, is what saves so many people thousands and thousands of dollars over the course of their retirement. Hi, I'm Mark Wisniewski, President of Southern Incomes. I help people build tax-smart, reliable retirement income plans so that they can actually enjoy the years they worked so hard for. If you find this helpful, go ahead and like and subscribe. And if you want help creating a retirement plan that gives you real clarity, not confusion, you can book a time with me using the link in the description. Now, let me walk you through the one financial benchmark retirees never track, but that can quietly determine everything about your retirement. One, the benchmark, your required income ratio. The benchmark is something that I call your required income ratio. And it's incredibly simple. What it is it's the percentage of your lifestyle that must come from your savings each year. So what does that mean? Well, the plain English version is this. After Social Security, after pension income, after rental income, after any part-time work that you have, what's left that your savings must cover? Most people only know the required spending number, but they don't know what portion of that spending must come from withdrawals from savings. And that's the critical piece, because your required income ratio determines how much stress you put on your savings, how sensitive your plan is to market downturns, how vulnerable you are going to be to taxes, how RMDs will impact you, how aggressive or conservative your investment strategy should be, whether you can retire early or if waiting just one more year changes everything. Your savings don't determine your confidence. Your dependence on your savings does. That's the benchmark. 2, why most retirees never track it, and why it matters more than they think. The reason people don't track this benchmark is painfully simple. No one ever taught them to. Let's face it, during your working years, the message is always accumulation. How much do I have? How fast is it growing? Am I maxing out all my accounts? But rarely, if ever, does anyone talk about how dependent you're going to be on those savings once your paycheck stops. And that's where the problems begin. Imagine two retirees with the exact same savings. Let's say $1 million. Retiree A needs $10,000 per month, and Social Security is going to give them $6,000 a month. So they're going to need $4,000 from savings. Their required income ratio, well, it equals 40%. That 4,000 divided by that 10,000, right? Now, retiree B, they need $8,000 per month, but their Social Security gives them $7,000 a month. So they need $1,000 a month from their savings. Their required income ratio equals 12.5%. It's that 1 divided by 8. Same exact savings, totally different retirement experiences. This is why some retirees with modest accounts feel calm and steady, while others with millions and millions in their portfolio feel anxious and unsure or stretched too thin. I talk to them all the time. It's not the size of the nest egg, it's the reliance on that nest egg. Once people understand this, they finally see what's been causing the pressure. 3, what a high required income ratio really means. A high required income ratio doesn't mean you can't retire. No, it simply means your retirement is going to require more structure, more coordination, and more overall awareness. Here's what a high ratio often signals. A, more pressure on your investment portfolio. Your savings have to carry more weight, which makes early retirement market downturns much more impactful on your plan. B, more tax exposure. If you need large IRA withdrawals just to meet your lifestyle, your tax bill may grow, and it's not because you overspent, but because you're drawing from accounts that are fully taxable. C, greater vulnerability to those RMD spikes. When RMD age hits, you may be forced to take more than you need, pushing you into higher brackets. D, greater IRMAA risk. More taxable income means higher Medicare premiums. E, less room for those unexpected expenses. Healthcare shocks, home repairs, or helping family constrain your plan. None of this means you're in trouble, not at all. It simply means your retirement plan must be more intentional, not just improvised at the last minute. A high ratio is going to highlight where your stress is coming from, and once you identify it, well, you can plan around it. 4, what a low required income ratio tells you. A low ratio doesn't mean you're set for life, but it does mean your lifestyle is strongly supported by guaranteed or at least semi-guaranteed income. People with a low required income ratio tend to experience A, more resilience during those market downturns. They may not need to withdraw as much or even withdraw at all when the markets crash. B, smoother tax planning. A low ratio may allow you to take advantage of a Roth conversion, strategic withdrawals, or capital gains harvesting. E, less risk of Medicare surcharges. You control taxable income more easily. D, flexibility in lifetime choices. You can travel more, help family, or upgrade your lifestyle without increasing stress. This explains why some people with $700,000 feel completely confident, while others with $2, $3, $4 million feel constantly pulled in opposite directions. Again, it's not about how much you have, it is about how much you need from what you have. 5. How this one number shapes every major retirement decision. Once you know your required income ratio, major decisions that once felt confusing suddenly become obvious. Your ratio influences Social Security timing. You have a higher ratio? Well, delaying may reduce pressure on savings. If you have a lower ratio, you may have more flexibility. Withdrawal order. The more you rely on savings, the more importance your sequence becomes. Roth conversions. If you have a high ratio, converting early in those lower income years may help you reduce future taxes. A low ratio, you may not need to convert much at all. Portfolio risk level. A high ratio, that means more sensitivity to those market downturns. A low ratio, well, you're going to have more capacity for long-term growth. RMD planning. A high ratio means RMDs may spike your income. A low ratio means you may have opportunities to plan ahead. How long can you comfortably delay retirement? Sometimes even just 1 year of delaying dramatically lowers your ratio. How much your lifestyle is vulnerable to inflation. If most of your income is fixed, you're more exposed to rising costs. Once retirees see how the single benchmark touches every part of their plan, the entire retirement puzzle becomes easier to understand. 6, you only need to calculate it once, but it guides you for years to come. Here's what people love about this benchmark. It's not complicated. You don't need equations or extra software. You don't need to memorize certain rules. You don't even need to be great with numbers. All you need is your annual spending, your guaranteed income, and your current savings. And from there, the calculation is simple, but the insight is so powerful. People tell me it's the first time they've ever really understood their retirement plan. It brings everything into one clear picture. Once you know your required income ratio, you stop guessing. You stop worrying about all the what ifs. You stop relying on those rules of thumb that don't apply to your situation. You finally see your retirement as it actually is, not just how you hope it might turn out. It becomes the anchor of your plan. It grounds your decision. It guides your risk levels. It shapes your tax strategy. It clarifies your withdrawal order. And it gives you confidence. Not because everything is perfect. No, not at all. But because everything makes perfect sense. Most retirees track their savings. They track their investments. They track their expenses. But they never track the one number that actually determines their entire retirement. How much of your lifestyle depends on your savings each year. When you know that number, everything else falls into place. If you want help calculating your required income ratio and building a retirement plan around that ratio, go ahead and book a time with me using the link in the description.